Today we're going to look at the new version of the Cybex Talos S Lux, which, like its lighter brother the Balios, went through a pretty extensive mechanical overhaul last year and has gotten stronger as a result. So let's get started then, going over the model from top to bottom and examining its advantages and disadvantages in terms of child comfort, ease of use, performance, and mechanics, before ending with a discussion of which uses and environments it will best suit. And starting off with some stats, the Talos clocks in at a little over 14 kilos and folds down to 65 by 48.5 by 40 centimeters, with the seat attached. It can take 22 kilos in the seat and 10 kilos in the underslung shopping basket. Looking at child comfort, the Talos has a highly adjustable seat with a very upright position and a newborn acceptable near flat recline, made particularly snug for the newborn period by the way the padded sidewalls sit out from the backrest. Size-wise, the seat measures 33 centimeters in width and has a length for the sitting surface of 94, as well as a total longer length of 103 when taking into account a smidge of extra space beneath the canopy and the distance to the front frame mounted footrest. Within these numbers is a longer than average adjustable leg rest, which is a great asset for improving child comfort when the seat is reversed, as well as extending the age at which a toddler will have a comfortable napping position, though I would note one minor peeve, with the fact that the leg rest doesn't lock all the way beneath the seat when using the footrest. As far as other aspects of the seat are concerned, it's decently padded, has Cybex's one-pull harness adjustment mechanism, and has one of the largest canopies I've ever seen, with 2 coverable ventilation panels at the front and back, which is great for sun coverage of course, but is also simply so much fabric that it can feel a bit unwieldy to deal with, especially when folding the model. Moving on to parent comfort, the Talos' handle is adjustable between 101 and 112 centimeters in height, while the shopping basket is decently sized, has higher than average weight capacity, and is comfortable to access in the way it extends from the rear frame. As far as folding is concerned, the model is meant to be easy, with every mechanism being operable with one hand, the model folding down to a standing position, and there even being a handle on the underside of the seat. That being said, however, that ultra-oversized canopy tends to get hung up in the shopping basket, or even over the brake pedal, when unfolding the model with the seat parent-facing, and there's also not enough space to easily rotate the seat frame without extending the handle first. On top of this, at over 14 kilos, this is not a light stroller, nor is it particularly small when folded, making it not an ideal model for loading in and out of a car trunk, or for carrying up several flights of stairs. As far as how the Talos feels to use, it's large and substantial feeling, has springy shock absorption, and generally feels like the sort of model that can power over obstacles without too much risk of breaking. But that being said, the handle and seat frame are a bit loose right out of the box, which causes the seat frame in particular to bounce around a bit over rougher ground, and this looseness is likely to increase over time to some extent through wear. As far as driving is concerned, the Talos has large wheels, over 8 inches in the front and 10.5 in the back, as well as good shock absorption, making it capable of tackling rougher conditions like cobblestones or gravel on a regular basis, while also being able to handle harder off-road terrain like forest trails when you really need to. And it also has a good center of weight and a wide footprint that makes it easy to steer and tip, despite being such a large stroller. Alright, let's move on to the mechanics of the model, starting out with the handle, the folding system, and the overall structure of the chassis, where the handle, though loose, is still built sturdily and relatively simply with regards to its internal components. And the central folding locks are quite sturdy as well, involving solid metal components for the actual locking function. The model has good structural integrity, with thick bars, reinforced connection points, and good cross support, aided by elements such as the thicker than average base of the seat frame and a welded rear crossbar. And the suspension-loaded support struts help to mitigate the effects of rougher ground on the chassis as a whole. All that being said, the Talos has quite heavy wheels, and since it's likely to be the sort of model purchased for at least partial use in harder off-road environments, despite these positives, I still do expect a certain degree of loosening to occur anyway, especially with the handle, from the pressures of tipping and steering. Moving down to the rear frame, the model suspension is, as I said, built into the support struts, which provide pleasantly noticeable shock absorption. The Talos uses Cybex's standard rotation-based brake system, which has shown itself not to develop problems very often, though I'd note that when it does, if the brake pins snap for example, then it can be quite hard to fix, since the system is difficult to disassemble. Beyond this, the rear wheels sit tight enough in their housings, and the tires are made of a strong rubber, unlikely to wear down quickly. Looking lastly at the front end, the model has standard suspension built into the wheel forks and decent swivel locks of a sort that Cybex has used on other models and that tend not to have problems. One area on the model that I'd been afraid might be an issue is the connection of the front wheel forks within their housings, since the front wheels are relatively heavy. And I'd note here that the redesigning of this point from the previous version of the Talos is very positive, with the wheels sitting quite tightly, leading me to believe that there won't be wobble problems or significant loosening down the line. So, would I recommend getting the new version of the Cybex Talos then? Possibly, but it depends on what you need. This new version of the Talos is definitely a lot sturdier than the original version, and is capable of handling off-roading better than a lot of other reversible seat models out there. It's also quite heavy though, clunky to fold, especially when parent-facing, and for some sorts of regularly rough ground, the looser seat frame in particular may get a bit unpleasant. But that being said, if you live somewhere where you need good off-road ability and don't drive to get around, such as a northern city with snowy winters, and you're looking to get a stroller on a budget, then the Talos does definitely provide a decent degree of ability and a sturdy enough construction to be worth more in my opinion than a lot of other strollers within its price class. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as a sort of support really helps us to continue making videos in the future. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description. Thank you.